Welcome to our CFP exam prep discussion. Today, we're diving deep into stock splits, a concept that frequently appears on the exam and often causes confusion among test takers. Let's start with the fundamental understanding of stock splits. A stock split occurs when a company decides to increase its number of outstanding shares while proportionally decreasing the price per share. The total market value of the company remains unchanged. Think of it like cutting a pizza into smaller slices. You still have the same amount of pizza, just in more pieces. The most common stock split ratio is 2 for 1, but companies can choose different ratios like 3 for 1 or even 4 for 1. Here's how it works in practice. Let's say you own 100 shares of company XYZ, trading at $100 per share. If the company announces a 2 for 1 stock split, you'll end up with 200 shares worth $50 each. Your total investment value stays at $10,000. Many test takers make the mistake of thinking stock splits affect the company's market capitalization or the investor's equity position. Remember, a stock split is merely a cosmetic change. It doesn't create or destroy value. The market cap, calculated by multiplying shares outstanding by price per share, remains constant. Another common error on the exam involves stock split calculations with outstanding options or warrants. These securities must be adjusted proportionally. If an investor holds options to buy 100 shares at $80, after a 2 for 1 split, they would have options to buy 200 shares at $40. The exam might test your understanding of why companies implement stock splits. The primary reason is to make shares more affordable and accessible to individual investors, potentially increasing liquidity. However, don't fall into the trap of assuming stock splits automatically lead to higher returns or improved company performance. Here's a more complex example that often appears on the exam. Consider a company with 1 million shares outstanding, trading at $120. They announce a 3 for 2 split. The correct calculation would result in 1.5 million shares at $80 per share. Test takers often struggle with non-2 for 1 ratios, so practice these calculations thoroughly. A key concept to master is the difference between stock splits and stock dividends. While they may seem similar, stock dividends are treated as a distribution and have different accounting implications. Stock splits simply divide existing shares without affecting retained earnings. Pay special attention to questions involving reverse stock splits, where the number of shares decreases and the price increases proportionally. These are less common but more challenging to calculate. A 1 for 4 reverse split would turn 400 shares at $10 into 100 shares at $40. When studying for the exam, focus on understanding the practical implications of stock splits on financial ratios. Earnings per share, book value per share, and dividend per share all adjust proportionally. However, ratios like PE, return on equity, and dividend yield remain unchanged. Remember to consider the record date and effective date of stock splits. These dates determine who receives the additional shares and when trading begins at the new split-adjusted price. The exam might include questions about trading between these dates. The CFP exam tests your ability to handle these concepts in real-world scenarios. Practice calculating split adjustments with various ratios and understand their impact on all aspects of share ownership. Focus on the underlying principle that stock splits don't change fundamental value, only the form in which that value is divided.